Michael, dismissal didn't get very far today at all here at Meacham Elementary because one of the school buses came out of this driveway and only made it about 4 houses down Spalding Avenue here before pepper spray went off. And they're the ones you would see on a flatbed truck securing the load down on a highway. But here, they're holding together pieces of marble and granite, according to the police. Some of these pages include a narrative from the young girl who says at one point her own mother threatened to kill her. No salt has been laid down here, and that has made problems worse. A lot of fishtailing, and the wind, that's a factor you cannot count out. At the old Carrier Circle parking lot, it would then turn somewhere in this area, heading in that direction. The National Hurricane Center says Hurricane Nate has made landfall at the mouth of the Mississippi River, and it continues to threaten neighbors. Orange Nation meets Beatlemania. I'm Brett Hall with the Live Eye on Marshall Street. How you won't miss it if you're on campus tomorrow. That's new when you join us for CBS 5 News at 6. Quiet, not a lot of people. That last part isn't sitting as well with vendors. It's an issue that continues to bring out strong opinions in Syracuse. Do we have enough police officers? Mayor Miner, within the last 2 weeks, both your police chief and first deputy police chief said that they need more officers to do the job in Syracuse and protect the citizens here properly. Why haven't you hired the 60 officers that you can?
Brent, that's not what they said. They said they'd like more officers. They'd want more officers.
But it is what he said.
We indeed need more police officers in order to provide that environment for our community.
It was part of the police chief's response to the question if more officers would help solve homicides faster. Regardless of any disconnect, Mayor Stephanie Miner says the city simply can't risk dipping into any more of its fund balance. In this year's budget alone, the city is estimated to use $18.5 million of its reserves to make ends meet. If money wasn't an issue, would you hire more police officers?
If money, Brent, that's like asking me how many unicorns I'd bring in for Labor Day parades. I mean, money is always an issue.
Mayor Miner continued to tell us that hard financial decisions will always be a reality in our economy, and right now, she does find the current level of resources acceptable.
We have enough Parks Department employees, enough code enforcement officers, enough police officers, enough fire department officials to keep the city of Syracuse safe.
This 1947 postcard gives glimpses of the elegance that was the Hotel Oneida. From accommodations to dining to weddings, for years it was an economic engine.
The menu, the dinners, and they had 2 bars, one upstairs, one downstairs, and they used to have bands, and it was very active. They did a good job.
Those are Bob Alexander's memories of the place. He owns Alexander's Ragtime on Main Street, a few blocks down from that old hotel.
It's been vacant for more than a while.
It no longer brings about a smile.
It's an eyesore. It really is an eyesore.
The faded blue edition, built in the 70s, has become a landmark of sorts for those driving into downtown. Along Main Street, peeling siding now scrapes against the metal frame of a canopy long removed. There is rust, boarded up windows, and recently added a sternly written letter on the door, deeming the structure unsafe.
We're going after it.
Jim Chamberlain is the deputy mayor in the city of Oneida.
We did declare it a public nuisance last meeting, and so now the fire marshal will compose a list of any violations that he feels necessary, and then we'll start there.
But to say this process is just starting would be inaccurate. Through a Freedom of Information Law request, CBS 5 asked for code violations and building reports going back 10 years. And this is what we got. Dozens of letters from the city to the property owner detailing various violations, from crumbling stone to overgrown brush. The fire marshal's office really had a problem with the exposed steel that's now along Lenox Avenue. Right now, anybody can come up and pull off a piece of it. It's deteriorated that much. A construction company has owned the property since 2010. Sullivan Contracting, Inc., based in Secoit in Oneida County. Nobody was available to speak with us about the hotel when we visited their offices, and 4 phone calls were not returned. The city says it has also had difficulty getting in touch with the owner. In March 2017, the city obtained a search warrant to inspect the building from the inside, after the city says the property owner didn't answer its letters.
We've never done that before. I've never heard of that. So that's how far we're carrying it forward to really nip it in the bud.
But what about the final solution? While the deputy mayor would like to see the old hotel reopen, Alexander says it's time to move on.
I wouldn't mind seeing it torn down.
The owner's thoughts are unknown, but now that the building has been deemed a public nuisance, the city could eventually make the decision for them.
We don't want it to escalate. I just hope he contacts us.
In Oneida, Brett Hall, CBS 5. The sound that can send shivers up your spine makes so little sound at all. The sound of sorrow.
Trooper Joel R. Davis, Shield 3814. End of watch, 9 July 2017. Rest in peace.
It is the quietest sound made by so many.
He is a hero in my mind. He saved 3 lives that day. Gave his.
His legacy will live on through officers in New York State.
Doesn't matter what color the uniform is or what the design or shape of the badge is. We all lost a brother here today.
Through officers in these United States.
It is hard because I've come across some close friends that have lost their lives in New Mexico. I try to be brave and wearing a uniform. You don't want to get teary-eyed, but I do get teary-eyed.
At the sound of sorrow.
Somber reminders to us all of the sacrifices that we've made, our colleagues have made, and the sacrifices that we are prepared to make.
Made by Trooper Joel Davis.
Can't say enough about how good of a trooper he was.
Now at rest. At Fort Drum, I'm Brett Hall.